The first whisper came at 2:17 a.m. Not a dream. Not the wind. It was a voice, soft, wet, and deliberate, sliding up through the wooden floorboards of my bedroom like breath through cracked lips. Daniel. I sat upright, heart slamming so hard it felt loud enough to answer back. The room was dark, lit only by the red glow of the digital clock. 2:17. Again. It was always 2:17 when it happened. I held my breath. Silence. Then the floor creaked. Not the normal settling sounds of an old house. This was slow, careful, as if something beneath me had shifted its weight. I swung my legs off the bed and pressed my bare feet against the cold wood. The whisper returned, closer now, almost amused. You hear us now. My stomach twisted. I had moved to this house in rural Pennsylvania 3 weeks ago, chasing quiet, space, a fresh start. The realtor called it full of character. What she didn't mention was the way the house listened back. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The beam shook as it swept across the room. Empty walls, peeling paint, nothing out of place. But the sound came again, not from the walls. From below. I knelt and pressed my ear to the floor. That was my mistake. A chorus of whispers erupted beneath the boards, overlapping voices layered with hunger and urgency. He's listening. After all this time. Let him hear. I stumbled backward, slamming into the dresser. My pulse roared in my ears. This wasn't stress. This wasn't imagination. The voices knew I was there. Worse, they sounded relieved. The next morning, I ripped up one of the floorboards. The smell hit first. Damp earth and something sour, like rusted metal. Beneath the wood was dirt. Too loose. Too dark. And scratched into the soil were words. Help us remember. I covered it back up. Told myself I'd call a contractor. Or a priest. Or both. But that night, at exactly 2:17 a.m., the whispers returned, clearer, sharper, no longer afraid of being heard. Daniel, you're standing on our names. Sleep became impossible. Every night the voices grew louder, more organized, as if practicing. They told me pieces of things, half memories, broken images. A woman screaming. A door being nailed shut. Children counting in the dark. On the fourth night, the whisper changed. Come downstairs. I didn't want to. God knows I didn't. But my body moved anyway, like the house had learned the weight of me and decided where I belonged. The basement door was already open. I don't remember opening it. The stairs groaned as I descended. The air grew colder with every step, heavy with the same damp smell from beneath the floorboards. At the bottom, my flashlight revealed something new. Symbols carved into the concrete walls. Hundreds of them. Names. Dates. Every one ending the same year. 1913. The whispers rose to a fevered pitch. We were buried alive. They built over us. They forgot. My light flickered and died. In the darkness, something touched my ankle. I screamed and kicked free, bolting up the stairs, slamming the door behind me. The house shook. Not violently, but with restrained anger, like a breath held too long. The next day I researched the property. The truth was worse than the whispers. In 1913, the house sat atop a private boarding school. A fire broke out in the basement dormitories. Official records claimed everyone escaped. They lied. The owners rebuilt. covered the basement, covered the bodies, covered the truth. And now the house remembered. The whispers weren't trying to scare me. They were asking for help. That night, the floorboards began to bulge. Cracks spider-webbed across the living room floor as dirt pushed upward. Voices screamed in unison, not in pain, but in anticipation. Open it. Let us breathe. Let us out. I ran for the front door. It wouldn't budge. The windows rattled, then blackened, as if something pressed against them from the other side. The floor split open. Hands, too many, too thin, burst through the wood, grasping, clawing, dragging themselves into the light. Faces followed, pale and stretched, mouths opening wide to release decades of trapped air. I fell back, sobbing, begging. I didn't do this, I cried. One of them looked at me, eyes empty but knowing. No, it whispered. But you live above it now. The last thing I saw before they pulled me down was the house, settling, sighing, finally at peace. They say the property is empty again. No one stays long. But sometimes, at 2:17 a.m., neighbors swear they hear new whispers beneath the floorboards. A man's voice, begging someone upstairs to listen.